Hello, everybody. That's right. I've started it different and it feels a bit weird, but hello and welcome to Ask Mark number 46. Mark,
Yeah,
where are you? You look like
I'm in a bit of a void, an echoey void.
an.
So you're gonna hate editing this video.
I hate editing all the videos, Mark. I don't really.
But I imagine it's a fairly uniform color. So you can probably keyframe me into anywhere you want.
Mate, so I've got a green screen and you've got the white screen. So yeah, if I can, I will get rid of that and then I'll see if I can put, I don't know, a bunch of dancing Barbies behind you or something.
No, there's some workmen down the road and they're making a ton of noise.
Yeah.
And didn't think that was conducive for making a video.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Other than that though, how are you? It is Friday after all. Have you had a fabulous week?
Yeah, nice and chilled out. Nothing overly unusual apart from a lot of jackhammering down the road. But yeah, no, all is well.
Good. Excellent. Right. This is Ask Mark. So I think we should talk about some questions. That sounds like a good way to start, really. So the first one is from a channel regular, Emma. Hello, Emma. I hope you're all okay. She left a question on the Santi BZ400X undersuit. She says, these kinds of undersuits always look super buoyant to me. Do these kinds of undersuits require a lot more lead compared to, say, the Fourth Element Arctic?
Yeah, that is it's a bit thicker. I actually, before this video, I did a very scientific test and I took my Fourth Element Arctic and I got the calipers and measured like sort of how thin it would squidge down. 2.5.
You're such a
compared
nerd.
to I know, compared to the my BZ400, and that was about 7 point something. So yeah, it's going to have extra insulation, but it is a thicker, warmer undersuit. So yeah, you are going to need to add a bit of extra negative buoyancy, extra lead to actually help you get down. I can't comment on how much because that would depend on you, the size of the suit, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, you're definitely going to need a little extra lead to help you get down. But whenever you change any piece of equipment, whether it's your BCD, your exposure protection, you should really be doing a proper buoyancy check just to see if you can take any lead off or put any lead on. It's been a long time since I dived in my Arctics, so I can't say exactly how much, but yeah, you will need to add probably a couple of kilos at least. But yeah. It's designed for colder waters. Arctic will take you in like fairly cold waters. I normally wear that into like the autumn season, but then getting into the winter time, just BZ400X. But yeah, you will need a little extra sort of lead to compensate and help you get down.
Oh, cool. That makes perfect sense though, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's adding that extra insulation, that added buoyancy, but it's swings and roundabouts. You got to sort of pay for it somehow, and that is carrying extra lead or an extra tank.
There you go. Cool, man. All right. Hopefully that answers your question, Emma. So the next question is from N Hakil. I'm going to say that I butchered that. I apologise. But let's just move on.
That's how I'd say
it. Anyway, they say, hi, I'm starting cave diving and I'm interested in the RK3s. Nice. The thing is it will be in tropical waters. I heard that the HD version is negatively buoyant and is better with a dry suit. As for the regular version, it's too soft for efficient frog kicks. What are your thoughts about that?
No, I use the regular version. No issues with sort of efficient frog kicks.
Excellent. Rupert's got some opinions about that as well, which is good.
He voices his issues quite loudly.
He does.
Yeah, I think the HD version is a bit more negatively buoyant, but that doesn't mean that it's only for dry suits. Of course, you can wear it with. I mean, I use them with sort of rash vests and whatnot. It's just a stiffer material. It's slightly more negatively buoyant, but it's not going to make you heads up all the time. It's not going to throw your trim off that much. But no, either or. It depends. The regular version, a little bit softer, so for a bit more casual diving, it's not going to take out too much on your legs. Whereas the HD, the hard version, yeah, it's a bit more of a workout. So if your legs, you haven't been sort of working them out, you haven't been diving for too long, you might find you get tired a little bit faster, but you are going to get places faster. Is the age-old question, and it's mainly down to personal preference. Wouldn't worry too much about the buoyancy, but yeah, it's more whether you want sort of pure efficient power or just a more sort of casual, chilled out dive. But I mean, I use the regular version with my dry suit, with wetsuits, with just rash vests, and I've never had a problem with propulsion.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you very much. Has anyone had any issues with the RK3 when it comes to buoyancy or propulsion? Let us know in the comments below, please. But let's go on to question number 3, which is from Lu Tong. Hello, Lu Tong. Hope you're all well. They say, I don't plan to go professional. I'm currently a rescue diver and considering my MSD. Is it worth to get that certification or just to stay at rescue? And I love the shearwater Terek. Yes, you do. Everyone loves a Terek.
Master Scuba Diver, is it worth it? Not really. For those of you who don't know, it's a PADI qualification, and it's a matter of you have to get 5 speciality courses, and then you throw a bit more money at PADI and they give you an extra cert card, which is your Master Scuba Diver. There's no extra training or anything involved. It's literally just as soon as you've done 5 specialities, you pay them and they give you an extra cert card. It's not essential. No one really looks for it. It doesn't really mean anything to us like professional divers or guides. We're more interested in like the core. Rescue diver, yeah, great. That's what I'm really looking for. And then anything particular to that dive at hand. So if we are diving with dry suits, I want to see your dry suit cert. I don't really care about your MSD. And yeah, if you're not looking to go professional, then yeah, just rescue and just kind of stick it at that. Otherwise, no, I wouldn't worry too much about your MSD. It's that like superfluous cert. It doesn't mean that much other than you've done 5 different specialities. But it doesn't mean any 5 specialities in particular. Could be anything. So I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Cool. All right. Wicked. Nice one. So MSD is pointless. That's it's like the way I see like collecting your cert cards from PADI is like collecting Pokemon cards. You got to get them all.
No, you don't have to.
In the PADI law,
no,
you do.
The core ones, they're the most important. So you want to get your open water, your advanced, and then your rescue, and then you kind of decide if you want to go down the. I mean, I've never got my MSD because I went down the professional route. I went down the dive master instead of master diver route. No, it doesn't mean that much. It's just an additional cert card. But no, your rescue is just as good.
Cool. Excellent. There we go. Wicked. Let's go to question number 4. It's from Christos. He says, Hey, Mark and Sean, thank you very much. I have a question for both of you. Okay, cool. What is the best PLB for both diving and hiking? I'm considering the Ocean Signal Rescue Me PLB1. That just is for SOS signaling. But the price difference with the Garmin InReach Mini is really small. Garmin doesn't even offer the SOS for free. What are your options on that? So yeah, personal. Oh, what was this? I can never remember the acronym. There's too many.
Location or locator. Beacon.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. So they range. You get something from like Nautilus. What is it? Marine GPS something or other.
Yeah.
But that doesn't connect to satellites. So that's like your cheapest option. But that is specifically for scuba divers. It works. I think it's just like radio waves, and it basically shows you up as an icon on marine. What do you call it? Like GPS, basically. So boats can see where you're located. But that's specifically for scuba divers, so that wouldn't be much use for you whilst hiking. The others, the Garmin one. The Garmin one is good. The InReach, that would be great for in water and out hiking in the woods. You can get a separate scuba diving case for it, dedicated for it, that goes down, I think it's like 100 meters or something, I can't remember. But yeah, there is monthly subscriptions, and you get different subscription tiers. But that's that will talk to satellites, so it should work everywhere, and you can send messages through it as well. I think you can have like predefined like text messages like, oh, I'm okay, or I'm lost, come find me, and then there's an emergency SOS, which as soon as you press that button, it sends a message to the nearby search and rescue teams, and they send out their search boats. There's a few others. I think Rescue Me is quite popular, but you need a separate case. And the Ocean Signals one is great. It's pretty inexpensive as well. But last time I spoke to them, they're still looking at building an actual waterproof case, because the thing itself only goes down to like 10 or 15 meters. It's not a great deal of use for scuba divers. So a lot of people, they actually have to get like either a custom diver's case, which is just this big like canister that you unscrew, put it in, and then close it up and only take it out on the surface, or they get like a really old UK divers dive torch that use those big like C or D batteries. Just hollow that out, put it in. It's basically a waterproof canister. But I don't know. It all depends on where you are. Some of them you have to like register them and do all that. With the Garmin one, you have your yearly fees. But I mean, for safe of mind, yeah, the Garmin, what's it called, the InReach or something, nice and small, very compact but very practical. Yeah, I think Rescue Me is quite popular on a lot of the dive forums. They quite like that. But yeah, you do need that sort of external housing. Or for something simpler, then yeah, you've got some Nautilus, which is a lot cheaper, and you don't have to sort of register it, because I don't think it has radio built into it anymore. Can't remember. It's been a while since I looked at PLBs and EPIRBs and stuff. Yeah. The Garmin one's good, but yeah, it comes at that premium price. So it depends how much you're going to use it, basically.
Yeah, I think you definitely hit the nail on the head with that. Like in the hiking side, in the hiking world, in the traveling and the adventure world, the InReach Mini is the most popular, one of the most popular devices, because no matter where you are in the world, you can sync up, you can get your location found, and away you go. And like you say, if it is, you know, waterproof or water resistant, and if you can use it,
you get the extra case diving with the InReach.
There you go. Then
and it makes specifically for diving. So
yeah, you know, so it's great for that sort of thing. Again, what you can do with the Garmin is for messaging as well. You actually can connect it to your smartphone, and that's how you message. But it basically via Bluetooth, you type your message, it then gets transmitted onto the Garmin, and then it goes out there. I mean, personally, for me, I've never need to have one in the UK, because no matter where you are in the world, in the UK, not in the world, you can actually contact emergency services. Even if your phone says no signal, you can call 999 and you will get through to emergency services. And then that's when you call the appropriate service, whether that's mountain rescue, ambulance, or police, or whatever. So yeah,
Coast Guard.
Yeah, but yeah, no. I mean, yeah, like Mark says, if you're going to be doing this, if you're a serious hiker, a serious adventurer, where you need this sort of device, if you're going out in the backcountry or whatever in Alaska, and you need something like that, it's worth doing. If you're only doing a bit of both, What I probably would recommend is buying one separate for scuba, maybe the cheaper one, and then maybe invest in a potential, maybe more of a cheaper GPS down the road. But yeah, if you're doing, I don't know, you're doing both of them, or if you're doing one more than the other, that should also, what do I want to say, spark what type you should go for. If you're doing more scuba diving than you are hiking, maybe consider that. But yeah, if money is no option, you know what I mean, and you don't mind the monthly or the yearly subscription, however you do it, you can't go wrong with the Garmin. Their satellites are military grade, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like they're a knockoff brand or whatever, you know what I mean? Garmin do everything from scuba diving watches, dive computers, to obviously hiking watches. So you're teaming up and you're buddying up with a really, really strong brand. And also, like Mark said and myself have said, the InReach Mini is super popular. A lot of van dwellers have it. So people that go out in the backcountry, out in BC, in British Columbia, most of them have a satellite tracker like this, so they can actually be found, or text people just to let them know. But yeah, I mean,
it seems to be the best for both worlds.
Yeah.
You get a lot of like marine things like the Nautilus, but that only works in the water. Yeah. And the boats have to have that specific type of like sort of marine radar, whatever it's called. So that's not going to work in the woods. But the Garmin works everywhere, and it has a specific scuba diving case. So if you're doing both and you're doing it a lot and you want to be safe, InReach is probably the best route to go down.
Also, as well, don't rely on this technology as well. It sounds silly, but go old school. You need to let people know where you're roughly going to be. I'm a massive advocate for the app. What 3 words is fantastic. It works for scuba divers and it works for hike. It works for everyone. Every inch, was it 3 meters square? They have a 3 meter square covering all over the globe or whatever. So you leave a note and go, right, at this time, well, this is the dive site that I'm going to be going to. These are the 3 words. So if I do get lost, if I don't, whatever, there's a starting point there, rather than always got a GPS. Let's see if he switches it on. You know what I mean? So always have backups. But again, in the UK, this sort of system isn't necessarily needed. Because if you're hiking in the UK, like I said, you can have 3 words, but even if your phone doesn't have any signal, you call 999 and you will be found. But again, the way that I've been taught when it comes to mountaineering and stuff like that is obviously the last thing that you do. You know what I mean? You try and get out of the scenario
Self-rescue.
first, because if you're trying to, if you contact someone else to come and rescue you, you're also inflicting potential danger for that person's life as well. So, I don't know. Do you guys and girls know any others down below that we've not mentioned? Let us know. Again, let's help them out. Let's help Chris out in the comments below. There might be something else out there that we've not thought of. But yeah, I think the Garmin is a safe pair of hands if you can warrant that money, and also if you can warrant either the monthly or the yearly subscription. If you are hiking like 3 or 4 times a week, or if you're doing big weekend adventures in Outback, then definitely. And if you're hitting the dive site maybe 2 or 3 times a month, then definitely worth considering having this on you just in case.
And especially riskier dive sites, places with particularly strong currents at time, unpredictable currents and all that stuff. So it is definitely worth it. It makes finding you much, much easier.
But like I said, let us know in the comments below. But again, just be safe out there. Go old school. Leave some notes. If you get signal on your mobile phone, whack a text. It doesn't even need to be, again, if you use the 3 words app, before you go on a dive site, if you're on a liveaboard, and you check your phone, you actually got a signal. You're like, oh, wicked, I'm just going to send my mate Steve And these 3 words, you literally the 3 words, and then dash what 3 words app or whatever. So then if you don't you don't get you get lost
A
or whatever.
gibberish text.
Yeah, there's just something there for you. So yeah, don't just heavily rely on this. Always have old school backups as well. But yeah, again, if there's any other systems that you guys and girls know, please comment down below. And yeah, let's help Chris out. Anyway, let's go on to the next question. Unless there's anything else you want to add to that, Mark? Anything else?
No. The only thing that I was thinking is that I was reading online that a lot of emergency services in the UK specifically are using what 3 words.
Yeah.
Makes their lives a lot easier because it's more accurate than I was kind of in this area,
That's it.
and then you take a left at a funny looking oak tree, and it's just it's very precise. So yeah, I think emergency services are actually using what 3 words more and more nowadays, so they'll know exactly what you're talking about.
They are,
and it will lead them straight to you.
It's a fantastic app. It's absolutely brilliant, and for the search and rescue, it's really good. If you're a delivery driver and you need to pick something up, you're not too sure, you can use it for that because you can literally type in the address and it comes up. There's so many applications for what 3 words. Do you know what? I'll put a link to it down below. It's not sponsored or anything, but for everyone's safety, it's definitely worth having the app on your phone just in case. Okay, cool. So question number 5 is from C. So hey C. They say, is it a myth that wearing white fins causes fish biting more than black?
Not really. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you wear a pair of white fins, you're not going to be hounded by fish. But I mean, whenever you go on like shark dives, they say not to wear any jewelry, anything flashy, because it looks like fish scales. So that attracts attention, and sort of white colors are very bright, contrasty colors. They did a test on sharks in particular, and it was the color yellow. They went for most option. That's why we call it yum yum yellow. White was very close behind it, if not sort of in the same sort of ratios. And then the others, other colors like reds and blues and whatnot, were much lower down. So yeah, they do draw attention more, which is why we use these colors for fins, so that other divers can see you and identify you. I wouldn't worry too much about being attacked by sharks or anything, or that they're not going to be this magic thing where suddenly you're surrounded by fish and they're ignoring everyone else. That's not quite how it works, but it is gonna draw attention to yourself. You might have an inquisitive shark sort of coming up towards you if you are moving them in a sort of enticing way, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. But yeah, I think it is a real thing, but it's not dangerous.
Yeah, cool. Well, there's always going to be things, isn't there? Like you say, with colours, reflections, what the colour palette is, and also it depends on where you're diving, the clarity of the water, how sunny it is on the day, whether it's overcast. There's so many different like options that can affect.
Yeah, because if you go to was it St. John's in the Bahamas and go like sort of shark feeding, they say, right, no rings, no watches, because if you have something small, shiny, glinty, interesting around your hand whilst they're feeding, then it's very easy for them just to and just go for it. So yeah, all shiny things, anything very high contrast, they say to sort of get rid of it. But in my experience, you're not going to get hounded by sharks or anything. A lot of fins nowadays, they do have shiny panels on the sort of plastic materials, but you're not going to get hounded or attacked by sharks. It's
fine.
They might sort of come up to you and sort of take a look, but that's about it.
I wish you told me this sooner. I've just invested in aluminium, really super shiny wetsuits.
Your mirrored suit.
My mirrored suit, mate. Just to attract more fish and sharks. Thanks, mate. Wicked. I've never heard of that myth about. I've heard the myth about yellow, but not about white.
Yeah. I was watching. I can't remember what it was. I think it was even a MythBusters, to be honest. And they tried with different like buoys on the surface, not children, but inflatable buoys, and they were different colors, and they recorded like how many interactions they got depending on the color in the same situation, same conditions. And yeah, the yellows and the whites got a lot of attention, but all the blacks and the blues and the reds and whatnot didn't get that much because they don't contrast that much. Sharks will see them, but it's not quite as interesting.
You look boring. You look like an old lady librarian. No one's interested. But that person, the little old lady librarian, is the most fun person in the whole world. Mm-hmm. Just proves sharks, basically sharks, don't judge a book by its cover.
It's what's inside that counts.
Exactly, all the guts.
You got to bite in and
find out.
Yeah,
got to bite into it. Swiftly moving on. Let's go to question number 6. It's Finn Matt. Mm-hmm. Hi, it's Finn Matt. He says, or they say, what's your thought on the Alchemy V3 Pro fins for scuba? Is that right? Alchemy? Or was it alchemy? I don't know how you...
Alchemy.
Yeah, I'd say alchemy.
I think.
Yeah. That's what it's called now.
So the V3 Pro is like the short pair of long fins, if that makes sense, like freediving fins. Okay. So they're a bit more compact. I think they're still carbon fiber though, so they'll be really nice and light and crisp, but a little bit shorter. So you're not going to be slapping people in the face. I'd be a little bit, depending on where you're diving, I'd be a little bit worried about carbon fiber diving around rocks and reefs and sort of inside shipwrecks, because if you knock them about too much, they can delaminate and just break. So yeah, it will be good, but as long as you stay away from things. Carbon fiber fins, they're very efficient, but they're more fragile. So I wouldn't specifically go down that route. If you're just scuba diving, I'd just get a pair of scuba diving fins. But then if you want to go free diving, then get a pair of free diving fins and have them as specialist fins. Yeah. Trying to get one fin that kind of does everything, and it's the jack of all trades, master of none. You kind of want your scuba diving fins for scuba diving that can do whatever, and then your free diving fins for pure free diving.
Yeah, makes sense. Mm. Makes perfect sense. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like you say, you don't really want a happy medium. You want to be the best performance for each sport. So the best way to do that is to have a set for scuba, have a set for free diving. Makes the world sense.
I mean, I have scuba dived, if that's the right term, in free diving fins, but they were polymer blade plastic, so they were really tough. And yeah, it's fine, but as soon as you get into confined spaces, it's not what they're made for. They get a bit clumsy, so you do need to be on your game so you're not knocking into everything and just destroying some soft coral. But I only use them for free diving now, whereas my scuba diving fins are for scuba diving, so they'll have those separate.
Yeah, cool. All right. So normally, again, that would be the end. But we have a bonus question. It's from Danny, and sadly, Mark, it's kind of more aimed at me.
Cool. I'll have a rest.
Yeah, you have a rest. You have a sit down, have a nap. Danny says, hi, Sean, and Mark in brackets. So thanks for that, Danny. Do you feel that even though you're not a qualified diver, after all the time you've worked for at Simply Scuba, that you actually know a lot about diving? And then he goes on and says, P.S. It's been a while since I asked a question, but pretty sure I invented #AskSean. I'd love if you could confirm or deny this. So I'm going to start with the P.S. first. Yeah, why not? You invented it, mate. It's fine. Take it. 100%
I don't
you,
remember
Danny.
The origins.
Yeah,
Could be.
Yeah, it was. Thanks, Danny.
Cool.
Thanks, Danny. Cool. And do I feel? I mean, I've been working at the company for technically a year, but if we extend that, about 8 years, and I've purely been on scuba or like Stronghold taking over the whole thing for 6 years now, I guess.
Yeah, something around that.
About that. So yes, like even when I wasn't fully working, like there would be another editor or another filmer, that would be filming Mark, and obviously Mark would be talking about products or whatever. Me just being within the room, you always soak in this information. Previously to me being in the video editing world or whatever, the YouTube channel, I was the assistant manager of the store. And again, that had hike, which obviously I was the key part of, but there was also the scuba diving element. So I also had to sell scuba diving gear. Now, obviously, there was a trained professional in the store that would sell the scuba diving gear, but if he or she was on a lunch or whatever, or if they were super busy, then I would obviously have to step in and sell and talk about it. But I feel like I'm an official land scuba diver, because I've done tri dives, I've been underwater, I've used the equipment, I know how it feels, but I've never gone on to the step to actually take it further. So I do know a lot about scuba diving. I do know a lot about the integral parts of products and how wetsuits and blooming bolt snaps, great, regulators, and the importance of mask fitting and wetsuits and all that sort of thing. But I guess it's just a case of implementing that into the real world, because that's really the only thing I would say that I'm lacking in terms of scuba diving is a story. I can't go, I wore that mask so I know what it's like. I can be like, well, I wore a similar mask in a pool that one time and it stuck to my face and it was all right. I think that's the only side that I really am missing out on. But that might be rectified one day, guys. Maybe.
Yeah, we're looking into it.
So and again, to a lot of people that are probably thinking, well, hold on, how come a non-scuba diver is running and filming a scuba diving channel? Because that's the way the world works. A lot of people do jobs, especially in the media, that they physically don't necessarily always do, if that makes sense. Like my job at the old Simply and at the new Simply it's obviously to push and promote scuba diving, but it's to film said scuba diving, it's to edit said scuba diving, it's to promote it on all the social media channels and run all of that and help Mark and the other Simply Scuba team with any other media or marketing potential that could be going down further online with its emails and stuff like that. There's a lot of things to do. I mean, back in the day, if you were to actually look at the scuba diving Simply Scuba team as a whole, as in including warehouse, marketing, and as well as obviously like yourself, Mark, the amount of scuba divers actually in there was very, very little, because we
come at a premium.
Marketing is marketing, whether it's a scuba diving channel or hiking channel or swim or beach, you know what I mean? It's just the way that it is. But I do think, even though I'm not a qualified diver, I do know a lot. It's just the fact that I don't have the stories to attach to it, I think, is where I'm lacking. But you know what I mean? It's
but I mean, we tested you a few months back, didn't we?
Yeah.
I put you through a quiz just to see how you did, and you did pretty well.
Yeah, I got 100%, mate. I don't think I did. I got about 80 to 90 or something. I don't know.
I think you got a pass mark without any studying. Granted, that was only like 1 or 2 of the chapters. It
doesn't matter, mate. I mean, I can now scuba to the Titanic on one breath of air. That's how good I am. But yeah.
We'll get him trained up one day.
One day, yeah. And when that happens, I don't want to buy any gear. So Apex, sort me out. Shearwater, definitely sort me out. You owe me about 10 million Terrix Shearwater.
You'll be that one diver sort of in the class who's got all of their own equipment, but they have no idea how to use it. It's just like,
Yeah, what's that term? All the gear, no idea. I'm like,
all the gear, no idea.
Yeah.
0 to hero.
That's it. That's who I am. Cool, man. Right. But yeah, hopefully that answers the question. If anyone else wants to know anything about me, use the hashtag #Sean. But whatever. That's what I say to that.
If you have any questions, comments, queries, anything that you want myself or Sean to elaborate on, just use the hashtags in your comment, wherever it is, whether it's on Instagram or over here on YouTube. It just makes it a lot easier to find. Just ask Mark, are Sean, and we will pop it in next week's show. Thank you for watching, everybody. If you do have any comments, queries, or corrections, let us know down in the comments below. Don't forget to check out simplyscuba.com. We sell all sorts of interesting scuba diving equipment. Thank you for watching, and of course, safe diving.
Stay classy, scuba divers.